This is Season 7 of the Team Roping Journal's podcast, The Score, the show that started it all in the whole podcasting game in team roping and rodeo. At 3 million downloads and counting, this is where team ropers talk, from our weekly short score episodes to the longer sit-down conversations that we get to have that dive deep into the personalities, producers, and horses that inspire the sport. This is where team ropers get their must-know information. Hey everyone, it's Chelsea Schaefer. Welcome to The Score. Now this is an episode where I would usually, this time of year, be talking to a bunch of guys about what horse they believe should be Horse of the Year. And that episode is still forthcoming, but I started these conversations on Horse of the Year with Jake Smith. He holds the distinction of being the first team roper who was awake on Wednesday, September 4th, when I text these guys, everybody in the top 15, and said, hey, give me a call when you get up. They're all in the Northwest. They're all in between Lewiston or Blackfoot or headed to Puyallup. They're all jackpotting and rodeoing up there in the Northwest this week. And Jake was up and at 'em bright and early. First one to call me back from that text message. And so when I started chatting with Jake, we had a lot of ground to cover because it's a big first NFR qualification for a guy that has been in the PRCA since 2012. He switched ends. He watched his brother win a couple world titles, and now it's Jake's turn to be in contention for a gold buckle heading into the final month of the season and heading into his first NFR. So Jake is as pure as it gets. He is enjoyable, and we had a whole lot to talk about. So while the episode on Horse of the Year is still coming, and I've got lots of details to put in it and lots of guys to talk to still, I wanted to give you all this extra episode with Jake Smith on his first NFR qualification. Today's episode is a bonus episode brought to you by the Riata Championships and roping.com. Do you have an opinion on what horse you think ought to be Horse of the Year?
I don't know. Oh, I mean, I guess everybody's going to be a little bit biased, probably. But, for one, I bought this horse, and it took a dickweed like me to 100 and something thousand in the world standings. Horse has got to be pretty freaking good.
Some ex-healer like you to win over 100,000 in the world standings on this horse that with you and your bailing twine against the world, you know?
Well, and that's the thing, though, is really I've won most of it on this old horse.
Really?
I think so. I know every dollar I won up until California was won on this old horse, and so I think I won somewhere around 30-something thousand on him this winter. Whatever. Well, I know I won at Houston, and a little bit I won at San Antonio. I won 500 or something at Fort Worth. That was one on this old horse, and I don't know. I've won on both of them, I guess, but
what old horse is it? What, I don't know what horse you're talking.
It's the one. It's called Friendly. So it's the one that Luke. I bought him from Luke.
Okay.
But anyway, and then I say that though, and then I know, like, I rode the other horse in California and won on him and stuff like that, both of them. But anyway, I don't know. Both of those horses have been huge to me. But no, it's funny. We were talking about this the other day. Me and Clay what horse stood out like, wow. But it seems like anymore, everybody's riding different horses here and there and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Except, that's what he said. He said, I'll tell you what. He said, Nelson Wyatt's gray.
Yeah.
He said, Nelson has rode him everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Nelson has rode him everywhere. That's the only one he's rode, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's getting to be where, used to, that was what everybody done. Mm-hmm. You had one horse and you rode it everywhere. And, but Nelson's freaking Grays took it all year long. Every setup, every place, drove him here, drive him there. That's impressive to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And they've been quiet a little bit lately, but I mean, I feel like that horse is great in the setups that are fixing to come up too. Like, we're talking at the beginning of September, but like that horse will be good at Puyallup.
Man,
yes, exactly.
Sioux Falls, you dang right.
Yeah,
which that's what's crazy is he rode him. I forgot where it was at, and me and Clay was like, okay, he just ducked him back over there, and then we went to like maybe Kennewick or something like that, and it was like, all right, now we're gonna have to see. Steers are pretty, like they've never been turned. They've just been chased a couple times. Barriers a little longer. It was like, now let's see. And I think they were maybe 5-4 in the first round over there, and won money in the first round. And that's what me and Clay. And that horse was tired, I know, because he just sent him somewhere and got him back. It was crazy, and that's impressive to me, stuff like that. But I don't know. There's several good ones.
Yeah, for sure. The bailing twine on your horse, I don't remember. Did Kendra talk about that in her story that she wrote about him? Why do you use that? I have so many videos that I just did up close tight videos of your setup there because I think it's so interesting, but I've never asked you about it.
So I noticed it at the first place I rode it on him ever, which I should have done it sooner, but that horse is weird. For a straight running bred horse, that horse is very cally, really cally. And so when I'm chasing the steer, if the steer checks off, if the steer lets up a whole lot, or if the steer steps into me, that horse will cow over and stick his head over in my way and cow over stick his head over to the cow.
Oh, okay.
And if the cow is just running and in front of me and not checking off, not stepping left and just running, and I'm just after him, then it doesn't affect anything. But if he steps left or if he checks off, then that horse gets his head in my way. And whenever I rope, I can see the cow fine. I can rope, but whenever I go to pull my slack, I grab the reins, and it causes me to miss my slack, and I'll pop it off.
That's wild. And so when did you figure, is that an old trick that the Smith family knows to tie one's head around like that? Or is that just something you came up with?
It's just some hillbilly stuff is what I would say.
That is
all it is.
Some oaky, that is an oaky setup.
I've had them before. I've had them before, like a heel horse that wants to turn his head to the right when you come through the corner, or just a little bit of something. It just, I don't know. Have you ever rode a horse and go, dang, I wish I had one more hand that I could be turning him, swinging my rope, and whipping him at the same time, or something like that? You need one more hand every now and then. So the string is just another hand. I tried. So when I first got him and felt that, I tried shortening my left rein up. I tried lengthening it out. I tried every different scenario and nothing. I couldn't hold it tight enough. I couldn't make it to where it would keep him from doing it. He would still do it to me. And so I would have done it sooner if I truly at first didn't care what everybody would have thought. And I knew how much heck I was going to catch. And then it got to a point to where I was like, okay, I really don't care. I can't catch the cow like I need to. So I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And so it was literally at the West Star last year is where I just, out of nowhere, I thought, you know what? I've had enough. I knew it would work because I'd done it on other horses at the house and stuff like that. I knew it would work. So I just grabbed it and I stuck it on there. And that day, me and Paul won second in the West Star. But, and I took it off since. And I keep thinking that if I have it on him enough that he'll quit. But I loosen it up and I'll ride it loose practicing on him sometimes and stuff like that. And every now and then, you'll still feel him. I'll still feel him get me a little bit. And so, I mean, it doesn't cause any trouble. It's easy to do. And all it is it just, it just gives everybody a little bit of, fuel to jack with me. And,
little something to smile about. Every time I see it, it just makes me smile. And I always turn my camera on and get a bunch of pictures and videos that I will definitely post with it because it makes me so happy to see how creative you are, Jake.
Yeah, and everybody has told me that they was going to get me like a fancy leather strap and this and that and everything else, and nobody's ever done it. Which, I want everybody to know that I'm a proud hillbilly from Oklahoma, and so I don't know that I'll ever take it off. But if somebody had me a fancy one that I could adjust and stuff, I might try it out. But the hay string is light, and you can find it literally anywhere.
You know, this is like a message to people out there like Carrie Kelly. You're accepting sponsorships for people to make you a nice piece of tack that replaces your baling twine.
Walt Woodard I was at Salt Lake sitting in the hospitality. Walt come in there. Walt cracks me up because he's so serious. So serious, yeah. Comes in there and he's like, hey, he's like, I was going to, he said, no, he just come in and he said, hey, you guys are pretty well known. The Smith family's like, you guys have been roping forever. And he's like, everybody knows who you are and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, where in the heck is he going with this? I know he's got an angle. I don't know what he's doing. So he keeps on going and this and that. And he said, why do you have a string on there? Get a piece of leather. And I started laughing. And I said, yeah, but Walt, I said, if that string breaks, I said, you can get hay string anywhere. I said, if that leather breaks, he said, it's not going to break. He said, our saddles have made of leather. Our boots are made of leather. It's not going to break. I feel like this is a really good endorsement opportunity, but I don't really hear of a lot of guys telling me that that's a problem that they run into, is that their head horses' heads are getting in their way cowing, going to the cow. Like, I hear about heel horses' heads getting in the way, but head horses' heads getting in the way isn't. I mean, I write about training problems all the time. That isn't one I've written about yet. So yeah, it's which somebody else may get on him, and it may never happen. It could be a me problem. I'm not saying it's anything. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just it is a problem with me. But most of the time, it doesn't affect anything. But then the one time that it does, it bothers you just because everything's fine, and then you go to pull your slack and you grab the reins, and so it's a terrible feeling. Today's episode is a bonus episode brought to you by the Riata Championships and roping.com. You will be able to watch the entirety of the Riata Championships, $1.5 million added at the Riata this year, at roping.com. It will be for subscribers and members only, free to stallion owners, of course, and you can watch it all at roping.com. It starts Wednesday, September 25th, 8 a.m. start time with that Riata Pro for charity with a 4-year-old incentive. $200,000 in added money and $50,000 guaranteed in the futurity incentive for 4-year-olds only. All of those guys in the Open will be on Riata horses for the first time ever this year. There are no proxy horses, only Riata horses in the Open. Then it goes down to the 14.5 that's that day with a 5-year-old for charity incentive. Those guys can head off, the Open guys can head off to Sioux Falls. That is the way this event was designed, to allow everybody to get there on the 25th to rope in the Open, then head off to all those last-minute rodeos they need to hit. But the big money will continue to be paid out Thursday, September 26th, Friday, September 27th, Saturday, September 28th, and then wrapping up with the 8.5 on September 29th, and then the breakaway. So girls, if you are going to Sioux Falls, you can still make it back for that breakaway at the end on Sunday, September 29th. So it'll be a lot of fun. We will be there. It'll all be on roping.com. You will be able to watch the whole thing. So check it out, roping.com, and find the schedule at riatabuckle.com. Now, I called your dad a couple weeks ago because I needed a wedding venue for my friend in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. This is very random. And so I called your dad and talked to him about it. But I started the conversation with, so about Jake. And he was like, I can't get excited yet because I can't even believe it. I'm so happy for him.
like, are you excited yet? Like, I've known you since you were a little kid. This is amazing. I'm so happy for you. But like, are you happy for you? Or are you feeling it yet?
I'm definitely, I'm definitely. It's one of those deals to where I can't believe it. Really, you know what I mean? It's crazy, but it ain't set in yet because it's not over yet. You know, it's one of those deals to where even if, you may think, which ain't nobody knows. I mean, heck, it's taken more this time than it's ever took. And there's still a lot of good rodeos. I say a lot. There's a handful of really, really good rodeos left. And there's all kinds of things that can change. But the game ain't over yet. So job's not finished yet. So, but it's been regardless if something crazy happens or whatever the scenario, it's been an unbelievable year.
Well, you've had your card for, I'm looking at your bio on the PRCA's website right now, since 2012, which makes me feel extremely old because I remember you guys as little kids buddied with like Bird and Paul, and I was just praying that you all survived that summer. But like, oh my God, that was so stressful. But what has been the difference maker with you and Doug, with you switching to heading? What has been what put you over the edge this year?
I think there's so many different things that goes into it. I don't know. But I mean, so obviously, I mean, I don't know. I've tried the healing deal so long, and I had great partners, and I just wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough healing. I just, whenever Britt decided he wanted to stay home, if Britt would have kept wanting to head, I would have never switched. But when Britt decided he wanted to stay home, I thought, you know what, I'm going to try something different. And I had way better opportunities partner-wise as a header than I did a healer. And so I started trying to gather up forces. And so obviously me getting a better opportunity partner-wise was huge. And then the horses that I've got and come across has been unbelievable. From the guns, the racehorse with the hay string that I got from 2D rope horses, and then Friendly that Clay told me about, that Luke and Chad let me have, and heck, even the one that I used to heel on that I rode some. But I think honestly, it's one of those deals to where the biggest thing, bar none, is God's timing for everything. And I've the last year and a half, I guess maybe even less than that, probably the last year, the biggest thing that I think to me that I've tried to do better is, hey, stop putting so much emphasis on doing good roping wise or whatever. I mean, and that's hard to do because that's what I've done, and this is what I want to do ever since I could walk, and stuff. I wanted to rope and make the NFR, and I mean that's what everybody that ropes the dreams, it seems like, and I know it was mine. But it come to a point to where I'm getting mad and I'm throwing little fits, which maybe people can't see or whatever, but it's bothering me and it's affecting other things, and that's dumb and that's foolish, because this don't matter. None of this matters at the end of the day. None of it matters, and so I really tried to, hey, it don't matter what happens. I'm going to smile when I walk out of the arena, no matter what. I don't want you to be able to tell if I caught, missed, whatever. And that's hard to do. And but I think that has helped me a lot. Just putting it on God and trusting it, and whatever happens. No matter if you catch, miss, fall off, which I almost did at Cheyenne. Everybody's seen that. It's funny. Ha ha. The roping deal, at the end of the day, it does not matter, and I'm blessed to get to do what I love to do, and so just go on about it, and no matter what happens, it's all going to be okay, and that's helped. I think that's been a huge deal. Like, a couple of my proudest moments of myself that I won't forget, which I guess everybody says that it's way the big misses always stick out more than the wins, it seems like. But my couple of my proudest moments, nothing to do with doing good, was me and Doug high back at the World Series finale last year, and I was needing to win, or I thought I was anyway, and I needed to make a decent run to win the roping, but just catch clean, and I'm going to win, I don't know, 10,000. I mean, it was going to be plenty enough, and I literally just flat missed the steer. I mean, just missed him. And I never threw a fit. I smiled the whole way, and that is a long ride from the back of the South Point all the way out there to where you're parked. And I just took it, and it don't get me wrong, it eat me up. It bothered me so bad, but I say it bothered me so bad. I mean, it didn't affect anything. I didn't let it carry over into my family, into anything else. I smiled. You couldn't tell. I know everybody was staring at me like I had the plague when I walked out of there, wanting a reaction, which I guess you do that everywhere, no matter if they win or lose. You're watching to see, and it bothered me, but I didn't let it affect me on how I acted or anything like that, and that made me feel good. That was hard to do, and I done that, and then I done the same thing pretty much at the BFI this year. I was really good on 4, and I break the barrier. I break the barrier to be top few callbacks at the BFI, and same thing there. And that one bothered me too, but I didn't let it affect anything. And I think things like that have helped me this year a lot. Is just trusting in God and enjoying what we get to do and what God lets us do each and every day. And it's easy to take it for granted. Very easy. Yeah.
And what about you and Doug together? I mean, he's your best friend. He's been your best friend for a long time. What does it mean to make it with Doug?
Let's not get carried away and throw on best friends and stuff like that.
He's your bro. There. He's your buddy.
No, that's huge to get to. People I've heard forever. People's always said, it don't matter as long as they catch 2 feet or as long as they can turn steer. It don't matter if you can get along with them or not. Bull crap. It may not matter when everything's going great and you're winning.
Yeah.
But the second it don't, it's huge. So for me and Doug to get the rope together and stuff like that, me and Doug are great friends, and we get along so good and talk about all kinds of stuff, and it's great because whether I catch, miss, no matter what happens, I know Doug is going to be smiling, and he may jack with me about it, but that's what friends are for. And me and Doug get along so good, so it doesn't matter if we're winning or losing. We know that it's going to turn around eventually, and it makes everything go so much smoother from things that, I mean, because it all has to work together, from planning where you're going, or from like, hey, I found us a hay spot, and then it trickles down so far. Not just Doug, but like it makes it so much nicer to have a wife that gets along with his significant other. Tori has helped me line up stuff to take care of my, old horse, getting them an AccuScope, and she's got a beamer that she's taking care of my horses, and she's fed my horses most mornings. Shockingly, I don't get up quite as early as a lot of people.
That's surprising because, like I said, we're recording this in the morning. It's, 8:35 there on the West Coast, and you are the only team member
I've been up for an hour.
Who has been awake yet. I should, put on my Insta story, the text messages that I sent out this morning, because it's all in a row. Hey, call me when you get up, and you're the only one. You're the only one.
Your timing is just unbelievable is what it is, because I have a lady out here working on my horse. That's the only reason why I'm up.
That's funny.
But, no, all those things are huge to what we do as far as morale and everything, it makes it so much nicer. All those things working together and making everything easy on everyone. And so it's been great. And then, not even talking about Doug's rope, and Doug rope's great. And I don't have to worry about when I turn the steer, you're going to catch 2 feet. A bonus leg here and there, that's fine. There ain't nothing wrong with that. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I'm so happy for you guys. Doug deserves to be back in Vegas, and you absolutely have deserved to be in Vegas for a very long time. So I'm very, very happy for you, Jake.
Thank you.
Of course. Well, I will let you get back to your morning. Good luck this week, and hopefully we talk again after you win Puyallup or Mandan or Sioux Falls. All of the above would be great. I will see you soon.
I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Jake. Thank you all again for listening to today's episode of The Score with Jake Smith. Jake, thanks for all of your candor. You are an absolute delight, and we are grateful to have you on this episode of The Score, and grateful that you are making the finals this year. I appreciate everybody listening, and we will talk at you again later in the week.